Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit and welcome. That's a bit disingenuous. I'm the one who should be being welcomed to Cats of the Cosmos Chapter 2. Chapter 2? What are you doing on Chapter 2, Regit? Well, I do like to take my time, but then there's taking your time so much that you are behind the times, and that is what I am now. So today, I will endeavour to finish off this chapter and have it all done and sorted to both appease you and put myself in a position ready to actually look at update 8.3, which will happen, don't ye worry, if you cared. So first I'm going to start off with Andromeda, because we did these last two levels here, I believe, in some form of collab video. And so that brings us on to here and my slot, which contains the row 1 only. The second row is just incidentally what happens to be there. But I've got myself Rover, which, worry ye not once again, I have been deceiving you this whole time. Well, no, not really. I'm not a clickbait YouTuber. The deceiving was purely you thinking I hadn't true formed it, when it was just a choice to not show you the fact I'd true formed it. Yeah, I had, and I was keeping it that way mostly for floor 30, but I'm thinking now we're in the later stages of Cats in the Cosmos, we're probably going to need all the meat shielding help we can get, and I can try it out in its new and improved form. Next, I have Manic Macho Legs, which is supposed to work well in combination with the Rover in the sense that if there are loads of meat shields which a Rover can't manage against, Manic Macho Legs should be able to clear them out, because when you have loads, they're going to be weaker, but when you have fewer, they're going to be stronger, which Rover should be helpful against, but the fewer weaker ones, Manic Macho Legs is going to be good against. So they're going to work in tandem with each other. Then my barrier breaker, well, we've got the air, but we'll talk about that in a second. I was going to use your old little Macho Legs, but I really enjoyed using Major Leaguer in the Aqua Paradiso that I used it, and that was actually great fun. I sort of want to use it again, really. Then I've got Cyberpunk, our old sturdy friend, capable of pretty much anything. What a hecker kind of guy. And then finally, in case everything goes wrong, I have Air Fuan, and I don't want to use it because actually I'm going to limit myself slightly. I'm going to try my best to succeed in here without using air, but I've got it there if I need to use it. That brings me on also to addressing why I haven't put any talents on my Cyberpunk. People have been telling me they're fantastic and make Cyberpunk extremely overpowered, and that is exactly the reason why I'm not doing it. Although I am bad at the game and technically I don't need to put any more challenge on myself than there already is, I am going to, in the sense that I will get a talent for Cyberpunk if I am stuck on something that getting the talent will benefit. Until then, I'm going to make it slightly harder for myself, keep me on my toes, and hopefully that should make things generally a little more interesting. Dark Doge immediately then. Right, well, I think our Manic Macho Legs will come well into play, and that is really disconcerting. I've got a meat shield that's up in the air. What am I even supposed to think about that? Well, I suppose it has its shadow, and that is its hitbox, and the fact it's flying actually has nothing to do with it. But it is really disconcerting, and I now can't see the health of the base, so that's not good. I'm going to try again. I think that Rover is just going to be ineffective meat shield wise, so I'm actually going to let them get to the base and then have all this stuff behind the base and hope I can kill them off before they kill the base. And ultimately, I'm not sure that that's such a great idea, so while I say it, in the very moments that I'm saying it, I'm just going to end up reverting back to what I was planning to do originally, and I'm just going to save myself from this situation here. Possibly, maybe not. Even air. Is that not enough for you? Oh, and there's a frog. I spot a frog in the distance. One Manic Macho Legs hit will knock them back, and then we can bring a meat shield out to protect. Oh, that is not as good as I wanted it to be. Not even half as nearly as optimal. That is an instant kill. Oh, I mean, what else can I actually do? Okay, so now this one is, but no, it's not behind the base. Well, it's still alive, and now it definitely should be behind the base. I mean, if I was him, I'd definitely have been scared behind the base by now. And I think this is how we begin to do it. I mean, I did start a little bit later, but other than that, I don't know really what I did differently. But being able to keep the baseballer alive and well behind the base seems to have been to our benefit. And now I've just got to try to move forward and succeed. Will I without air? That's what's up? I do apologise, I've been through the most awful of interruptions. Anyway, I've reached much the same point, and let's start from where I left off.
Wow, can't believe it! Everything's going wrong! I'm going to die!
No, but really, actually, this attempt seems to be going a lot better than the ones before. Even the frog currently can't thwart us. And, oh, even the frog can currently thwart us. My mistake. I think it's clear this time that I'm going to need to make use of my air, so I'll do that from a little bit earlier on, perhaps instead of the cyberpunk, because there's not much that actually sits at a long range. So we're going to get out our baseball and then just spam as many of these catalytes as I can. And to be honest, at the moment, I'm not that impressed by it. All it succeeded in doing, genuinely, is obscuring the base health, thereby making it more difficult for me to work out how I am doing in the battle. So, not great so far. Oh! Where? Oh no, that's elation to disappointment in the span of so few seconds. This time I've ditched my Catalyte and we're gonna go with Bomber Cat because there's black enemies and that should sort them out well and truly. I'm gonna let them get to my base en masse, or possibly not. Yeah, I think I will let them get there en masse, then try and be as quick as possible to do that, and then I'm gonna get my baseball cat out as well, and hopefully, no, not hopefully, if you can actually stay behind baseball cat and not do things like that, it will go well for us and we can do damage to them. But no! I'm baseball cat. I'm just going to be really go-getter-ish. Run forward and die. I'm going to do it at the first one this time because I don't want damage on my base. But, of course, that's going to happen anyway somehow? Bomber cat, stay alive. For goodness sake, you are the one thing holding this together, or you should be the one thing holding this together, and it's all going to pot over and over again. You seriously, am I going to lose? I'm going to lose. Let's try the whole en masse thing again and see if that works out any better. Freeze, wave, freeze again, baseball cat that isn't actually dead. It's a miracle. Right, we had a wave first and then a freeze after. Is that going to do us any better? Well, we're down to 2 Dark Doges instead of 3. That's conducive to some good at least. There's another freeze. There's another hit. Oh no, there are 3 of them. They're just merged in with each other. Well, it's nowhere near as good as I thought it would be. And if it isn't at all any better than it was before, which it isn't, that means we're going to fail again. You know what? I've got better things to be doing than this. Sod it.
I'm aware too that a lot of you don't like it when you see an end of a video of me just losing something, and although I'm sympathetic to that, usually I can't really affect that. But this time there is something I can do about that, so I will do something about that. So here, for your viewing pleasure, is me winning something.
Alright then, let's sort out this properly. So I've brought with me Octopus Cat. Fantastic news, because of course that is very, very anti-floating, and there you go, it just doesn't care. It's a bad man, does what he wants. First unit of them all to not be immediately affected by the attack of Junfish Zones. Twice! There you go. Then I've got Ultima Galaxy Cosmo. Sorry, it carried me before and it's about to carry me again because it's heckin' fantastic and it'll deal with them floatings and stand outside its range as long as it's not a wally. These enemies are not going to get far this time. Haha. I also have dragons. I didn't expect them to be outside of the Junfish Zones' range, but most of the time, except for when I was literally just mentioning it, they seem to, which is great. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but even now it's getting quite uncomfortable how close the Junfish Zoneses have managed to get to my Ultima Galaxy Cosmo. Not close enough to kill him, but close to that close enoughness. Right, now is saving time. Ultima Galaxy Cosmo has come off recharge time. Yeah, it's been that long on a time score stage. And so, I should soon have the opportunity to finally get another one of them, and finally get this level completed. I'm going to wait to separate them out attack-wise. I mean, this should probably be enough. Let's send them in now so that we don't get them attacking at the same time and we have more kind of meaningful attacks. So, our second one is now in his process of attack and that should keep things suitably back. Hey, there we go! I was watching Super Galaxy Cosmos so much that what happened ultimately meant that we got onto the base anyway and killed it. Well, great, okay. I got one of the score awards. Well, to be honest, I mean, that was difficult enough. Can't really be bothered to do it any faster. A rare ticket is fine enough for me. And we got 30 cat food and 1 leadership, so that marks the end of all of that. Anyway, I hope that you have been happily engaged by this video, and if you have not, please tell me why, so I might seek to improve from that. And with that hope for your future enjoyment in mind, I shall bid you goodbye now and once again say, I hope you enjoyed.